Diabetes patients have high insulin costs. And we know that this is something that we've been dealing with in this country for far too long. And it's not even just the medicine for diabetics, just the cost of prescription drugs across this country is too damn high. And it is far time, well past time for the United States to do something about it. Doesn't have to be this way, sisters and brothers, family and friends. It does not have to be this way. So here we are, Medicare for all. This is a forever message for us here at Unbossed. It should be a forever message for all freedom fighting progressives. Does not make a whole lot of sense to me that we are the only industrialized nation. Yes, you heard me right. The only industrialized nation on the face of the earth that does not have some type of universal health care. Doesn't have to be that way. It's that way right now, but it does not have to be that way. So with the sickness industry, and that's what it is. It's not a healthcare industry. It's a sick care industry. Healthcare in the United States of America is commodified. So with the sickness industry putting profits over health, that has made life more difficult for patients with diabetes. And if life is more difficult for patients with diabetes, then you guessed it, life is much more difficult for their family and their friends, the people who love them. So here are the details. New research unveiled Monday estimates that around 1.3 million US adults with diabetes either skipped entire insulin doses, took less than needed, or put off a purchase of the medicine over the past year due to high costs. That is coming from Jake Johnson of Common Dreams. This is not only heartbreaking, this is infuriating because, again, it does not have to be this way. A public citizen sent this tweet. I want you to take a look at it. Breaking, we found 1,300,000 Americans with diabetes rationing insulin due to costs. Those without insurance had the highest rates rationing at 30%. This isn't some awful phenomenon. This is a policy failure. A policy failure indeed. We are slacking. And because we are slacking in this country, then patients are lacking. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, David, in the United States of America.
Well, and that's 1.3 million people. I mean, I sometimes like to try to put this in terms that maybe Republicans might resonate to, right? They may not care about the humanity, but they certainly care about productivity, about the workforce making more profits for all these wealthy corporations. Well, if you're sucking out 1.3 million workers because they're calling in sick, because they've had to cut back on their insulin, that is less productivity. That means these companies, these businesses they're working for can't make the kind of profits that Republicans are looking for. So just on that angle, just because you want to try to keep a healthy workforce in order to be as productive and economical as possible, you would think Republicans would say, yeah, we need to make sure these people are not skipping out of work. Let's lower the cost of insulin so they don't have to skip their shots.
Ooh, David, baby, you know how to speak they love language because it ain't on morality. It's all on economics. You are absolutely right. I want us to check out this list from a 2020 report at the Rand Corporation. Top 10 countries where insulin is most expensive. Guess who's at the top of the damn list? The United States of America. You see Chile, Mexico, Japan, Switzerland, Canada, Germany, Korea, Luxembourg, and Italy. In Italy, they pay $10.03, David. United States of America, almost $100. We are the most expensive. And again, that's coming from the Rand Corporation. David, I don't get it.
And it's like the numbers, I'm glad you put this up because it's not just a matter of the United States, the cost being higher. You look at the number 2 on the list, we are 5 times more expensive in the United States than the second one on the list. We're not talking about 20% higher or 100% higher. We're talking 5 times. So even if we were to say cut back the cost of insulin from an average of $100 to say $40, we would still be twice as much as the number 2 on the list, but at least that would be making the insulin more affordable for more people. It wouldn't get us all the way there, but at least it would be progress, and there's gotta be some progress made for the sanity of and health of everybody in this country.
That's absolutely right, and we're not talking about something that is elective. People who have diabetes actually need this medicine to live, to function, to have a high quality of life, although they have that disease. So again, this absolutely makes no sense. This is a vital necessity for those with both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Injections of insulin can help manage both types of diabetes. The injected insulin acts as a replacement for or supplement to your body's natural insulin. And that's coming from Healthline. Once more, this highlights the need for Medicare for all, which you are going to hear us talk about on Unbossed ad nauseum. So just get ready for it. If you are not a proponent of Medicare for all, I just gotta warn you. I want you to see, this ain't small print. I'm making this print real large. We are absolute proponents and champions for Medicare for all in the United States of America. Yes, we are. I am, and we are. So once more, this highlights that particular need. So universal access to insulin without cost barriers is urgently needed. We have allowed pharmaceutical companies to set the agenda, and that is coming at the cost of our patients. That is coming from Adam, who is an ICU doctor, again, being reported by Jake Johnson at Common Dreams. And you know what? Research backs up what the doctor is talking about. So I want you to check out this data from Yale University, a study from earlier this year. In 1996, when the pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly debuted its hemoglobin brand of insulin, a fast-acting type of insulin, a vial cost $21. Now it costs more than 10 times that, more than 10 times. And so this is coming from Yale School of Medicine. The passing of the Inflation Reduction Act will cap insulin starting at $35 starting in 2023. But that's just a very small baby step, David, to getting towards universal health care and driving down the cost of all prescription drugs in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna leave a lot of greed for Eli Lilly and the other people who make the insulin shots. And to me, I just sort of think, you know what, when you think about diabetes and insulin, you automatically seem to think, and I at least think, well, I think of people who are, more impoverished, lower income communities, people, minorities, people of color. And I just sort of wonder, Senator Turner, if you think that maybe part of what's going on here, the reason that there is a sort of greed and this lack of humanity is because it doesn't tend to affect healthy, rich, white people. It's because it's lower income communities, communities of color, minorities, Latinos. They're the ones who tend to have a higher incidence of diabetes. And therefore it feels like, well, our society, which I believe is a racist society, never mind an inhumane one, says, okay, well, it's fine. Let's go ahead and profit even more off of the people who can least afford it.
There it is. If I was in a black church right now, all I would say is amen and amen. When the sermon has been preached.
And we shouldn't have to preach it though. I mean, we've been doing this for so long. And there was once a time when, Americans said, you know what? We all need all of us to be healthier. All of us benefit if we're all healthier and more productive and engaged in our activities and engaged in our lives. But when we set people back, then we start to cause some of the very real problems that so many people on the right seem to fear.
It is so true. And what affects one directly affects us all indirectly, the immortal words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it is so true regarding almost every single thing that impacts the human condition. Very, very rarely is a one epic thing only impacting one set or one group of people. There's always a ripple effect. So again, we can do something about this. This is about universal health care in the United States of America. This is about those who advocate and agitate on this to continue to do this. And this is also about electing policymakers who actually give a damn about the people that they serve. We ain't reaching too high and we not asking for too much when we say universal health care. But until we get there, let's just make sure that everybody with diabetes can afford their medicine and that they don't have to ration it. This is non-negotiable.